All right, sight readers, we're looking at the interval of a third today. We already discussed an interval of a second in a previous video. Now we're looking at thirds today. Now thirds are very important because a third is the building block of chords. And music is made up of chords and scales, period. Show me a piece of music and I'll show you chord patterns and scale patterns all over the place. So understanding chords, it's key to understand the interval of a third because we're going to build chords off of these thirds. Now, when you see music and you see a line to a line or a space to a space, that's always a third. And thirds will always sit nicely on top of each other. Now a third, again, is distance from one note to the next. And you can pick out any letter on the piano. Let's take a C, for example. Alright, and you skip the next letter and you go to the next one. That's a third. It's always a C to an E or a D to an F. And we can see that with our alphabet here. If you pick out any letter, let's just take F, for example. Alright, skip the G and go to A. That is the interval of a third. Okay, F to A. We can pick out another one. Anywhere B, skip the C, go to D. Alright, that is a third. B to D. You know, it's just the distance between two notes. Alright? Now, we've learned it's the distance between two notes. It's always skipping a letter. And then it's always line, line, and space, space. Alright? To make a chord, all we're going to do is add another third on top of it. Okay, let's take the F and the A that we did. We just did F and A. If I add another third on top of that, and I go to the letter C, okay, that makes a chord. Okay, right here, the FAC makes a nice chord. Do you see how the chord is built out of thirds? F to A is a third, and then A to C is a third. Okay, that's why we call it the building blocks of chords. That's the simplest kind of chord you can have. Now, at the end here, I show you a chord. I'm going to do that later. A very complex chord, a C13. Ooh, yeah, very fancy chord. But I'm going to show you that it's built out of thirds. So we have to start as sight readers picking out thirds, picking out the space, space, picking out the line, line. All right, let's do another one here. We said B to D. Well, let's go ahead and include an F here. All right, so this is a B chord. A B chord will always have B, and the D is the third away, and the F is a third away from that. So that makes a B chord. This happens to be a diminished chord, and we'll get into the reasons of that later. I don't want to get too technical here yet. So B, D, F is a B chord. We can pick out anything and just, right here, let's do this. E, G, B. Alright? There's our thirds. Third here, a third here. So we have E to G to B, and that makes a nice E chord. Alright? That's a root position. These are all what we call root position chords, where they're nice and neat there. Chords will come a little later in my lessons. If you want to check out my website, I have tons. I'm just giving you a taste of what I'm showing you on the website here in this lesson. But if you go to webpianoteacher.com, you'll see an extensive library of sight reading lessons that I take you through. And just, if you think you're getting a lot of information right here, just wait till you get on the site and go through the lessons there. I'll show you everything I know about learning to sight read, to do it efficiently and to do it fast. So let's take a look here at our thirds. Whenever I see a third, okay, my eye always goes to the bottom note first. I always read from bottom to top. It's very, very quickly, okay, maybe 1/100th of a second till I see the E above it, but I always see the bottom note first. So I think that's a good way to do it. When you're looking in your sight reading here, we're doing treble clef, we're doing right hand. We know this is a C, okay, and we know that this is a third away. So I know it's like that. It's skip a letter, a key in between, and I know it's a third, C to E. Now, without looking down at your hand, we need to feel for this next third. Okay, the bottom note is a D, and the one above it is a third away because it's space, space. D to F, okay? Alright? And then we go up to the next one here. A bit of a skip. Okay, you want to feel for it if you can. If you absolutely have to look down, flash your eyes down. Don't put your head down and just stare. Our eyes want to be mainly up here and occasionally flash down to see where we are on the keyboard, okay? Now, we have B on the bottom, so of course D is on the top because it's a third away. We do that skip in the middle. And then we're going to move up to C and E, another third, okay? And what we're doing is sight reading here. We're doing it from sight. This is not a song. It's not something that will be memorable, because if it's something that's memorable or a song, you're going to memorize it and you're going to quit reading the notes. And that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to learn all the tools and have at our disposal all these skills so that when we go to a song we want to learn, when we go to a song that's really cool that we like, we're ready for it. All right? G to B, down to E and G, and this up high to D and F. Remember, line, 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 space, space. And then down to F and A. Okay? Now what I do on the side too, I also provide backing tracks. I play with you something with this so that it sounds, a little more fun than just playing these, sitting down and doing drills and exercises. Alright? So we're going to go about this fast. Bum, bum, 2, and really slow, okay? 4. The idea is to have a whole lot of music in front of you all the time, more and more, something new, something new, something new, but not have it be too hard, okay? Not too difficult, but have that level of music and put a ton of that in front of you so that your eyes are constantly having to see something new, constantly having to think, okay? Making it a reflex instead of having to think about it and go all cows eat grass on every note. That's awful to have to go through life doing that. All right, here we go. Here's the backing track. Ready, play. 1. Anything there. We have the F and the A, and then I play the C chord at the end. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is why thirds are so important. They are the building blocks of chords. I always remember in school, amino acids are the building blocks of protein. I always thought that was so cool. The building blocks, the simplest thing that, that we use to build something else. And that's what we're going to do here. As you can see this, line, 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 all the way up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes, and they're all line notes. This is a very cool chord. It's called a C. Well, this is a C chord here. If you add this note, it's a C7, C9, C11, C13, and it sounds like this. Isn't that a cool jazz chord? Now I did put a flat on the B and I put a sharp on the F, but that doesn't matter. It's the letters that matter. C, E, G, B, D, F, A. Okay? And we're building a chord out of thirds. Okay? I use that chord a lot if I'm playing, if I want a jazz sound at the end of my blues or something. Hear that? That's a 13th chord, and it's built out of thirds, which you just learned, okay? And where there's tons more lessons coming, there's tons of lessons already on the site for sight reading, lots of exercises and backing tracks, telling you everything I know to make you a good sight reader so that you don't have to spend so much time trying to learn a song you love, but you'll have the tools to sit down and learn it in a few minutes, and then play more songs and have more fun doing it. Talk to you guys later.